Thank you, Richard, and thank you all for having me here today and for giving me this opportunity. Of course, I think Nadine, thanks to her a lot, also covered a lot of the points that I wanted to talk about the administration of North and East Syria and the work. I think I wouldn't have been able to talk about it the same as she did, and I think it did it better than me. For starters, I think I would like to say, and I was part of the creation of the democratic administration of North and East Syria, of course, back in 2014, when I wasn't still in the military. I think it's safe to say that the democratic administration, since its beginning, included and represented the thought and the rights of the several different ethnic and religious groups within its territory. We have been part of, as Christians, I mean, we have been part of different committees that participated in the creation of the administration. And I think basically the social contract that we have as a constitution for the administration is a representative of everything that we believe in, that we work for. And I think some of it that was shown by Nadine clearly shows that, and I think that is one of the best examples that we have in the Middle East about Christian communities being able to govern themselves, to be part of the administration that govern their areas, and to be part of the decision-making process all over the way. I think also to mention it, since the beginning, I think we worked very hard on inclusivity for the different ethnic and religious groups. I think it's safe to say that since the beginning of the administration, it was almost that we wanted to represent the administration through those diverse and different pictures or different colors that we have within the administration. Whenever we had, let's say, Syriac and Arab co-presidents of any committee or administration, the vice president was going to be Kurdish. Whenever it is Kurdish and Arab, the vice president is Syriac, and so on. I think we worked very hard regarding this matter since the beginning, and we managed to do it. The same goes, of course, for the military commanders and the military forces currently called the Syrian Democratic Forces. But as different groups, we started working together long before the Syrian Democratic Forces were created, and jointly created those forces in order also to represent the different ethnic and religious groups within North and East Syria. And also together we have been able to fight different terrorist organizations. The last of them were ISIS, and also to defend against the Turkish aggression and occupation of Syrian territories. Of course, I think it's safe to say that together the different ethnic and religious groups sacrificed everything that they have in order to preserve their right of self-governance, and to some level we managed to accomplish that. Eventually, I think with the case of the Turkish aggression and the Turkish military operations against the areas of the administration of North and East Syria, especially in Afrin and in northeast Syria, in Tal Abyad and Ras Al Ain, and even also in other areas that were previously occupied by Turkey, especially in Jarablus, Al Bab, and Azaz, which are also Syrian territories. We defended together against those attacks, and I think it was due to international conflict of interest that we didn't receive the necessary support in order to stand against Turkey with its, of course, far-reaching military technology and weaponry and etc. So, with what we had back then, and I think it was basically our will to defend ourselves, our families, our land, and our way of life. We managed to defend those that we love for as long as we managed to do it till we, I think, broke up in Afrin, and also till we reached or forced Turkey to reach agreements with the US government and the Russian government in order to cease fire in North and East Syria. So eventually, I think, also as Nadine said, we need political support mainly. We need to be recognized as an administration, as forces who jointly with the international coalition defeated ISIS. This recognition, I think, is the first step and the basic step that we need in order to be able to build our country, to build our areas, and to build our administration into being better and better. Coming back for the first point that I started with the administration and its creation, eventually I think it's a clear, I think, example of a joint life for different ethnic groups. How should it be? Of course, for Christian communities who have been oppressed throughout the Middle East in general, it is something new. Of course, beside Lebanon, when the Christians had a great or big number of population and were part of the administration of, and governance for as long as Lebanon was created. But for other parts of the Middle East, I think the administration is a new representation of how the Christian community can share and take part of such governance. And I think similar experiments should be supported in other parts, either it is Turkey or mainly, of course, I would mention Iraq, where we also have some similar situation. Of course, the Christian community there didn't reach the level of self-governance, but it is something that we ask for, and it is something that I think should happen. The same that it happened for the Kurds in northern Iraq, it should happen for the Christian community also, mainly in Nineveh Plain, at least, which is an area of main Christian community present, and I think they can do it. They just need also some political support towards such move and such a step, and eventually it would happen, and it would work, and it would be, I think, a success for preserving the Christian community in the area. Of course, the same goes for I think the Yazidis in Iraq also have similar situation, and I think such example or such experience would benefit them hugely also. I think for us as Christian community in Syria also, the administration is very important. As I said first, it's the first time that we govern ourselves, and without it, I think we are going just to go back to where we were before 2011, just a religious community living on the sides of the community in Syria. In the media, in propaganda, we were used as a card in order to publicize the Syrian regime with its with the picture that they drew, like they are protecting Christians, they are providing them with their rights. Eventually, it is true to some level, but they didn't protect us. The Syrian people did that. It's not that we got all our rights. The Syrian constitution contradicts with the saying that as Christian community we have all our rights. If as Christian community we want our full rights as Syriacs, as Christians in Syria, we would need a constitution similar to the social contract that we have in North and East Syria. We would need a constitution that the Syriac and Christian community takes part in creating it, in writing it, not just being written and enforced over us. So for that, I think the administration is a clear representation of what the Syriac and Christian communities can do and how they can be effective in governing themselves and working together with other ethnic and religious groups in order to create such a success story and experiment. So for us, I think that is the base, and we would like more support for this administration that we have in order to be recognized, and eventually everything will feel in order. As for the Turkish aggression, again, I would like to emphasize on the talk that my friends here have done since the beginning. It is something not only related to one area. We are seeing Turkey moving around in the whole area, whether it is the Middle East, in Syria, Iraq, or it is in Africa with Libya and even some other countries like Sudan, Somalia, and others, and also in the Caucasus with the situation that happened in Artsakh. So Turkey has, I think, a goal in order to expand its territory and expand its interest over the interest of the people of those countries, of those communities, and that is what we have seen so far. And I think we saw it firsthand, and we were in the front lines watching what the Turkish aggression and the Turkish attacks are doing to the communities, whether it is on the humanitarian side. We have seen, especially in Syria and the latest attack that happened, we have seen more than 300,000 people displaced from their homes, almost 1,500 families from the Christian community also were displaced because they left either in Ras Al Ain and some of them in Tel Abyad, or they were living in border areas and had to evacuate. We have seen the let's say capture of towns where the Syriac and Christian communities was living in a very good way, especially in Ras Al Ain, where we lost a lot of houses, we lost, or a lot of families lost their homes and their neighborhoods, and eventually they lost their lands and their crops. So it was very devastating for them also. And eventually, I think the Turkish attack affected not only the Christian community, but also the Arab community was, I think, the most community attacked because it lived and it was the main population of Tel Abyad and Ras Al Ain, also the Kurdish community, the Yazidis, almost all the ethnic and religious groups who live in Syria. I think they left in those two cities. We had Armenians also, we had Cherkess, and we had others. So everyone was there and everyone was affected by this Turkish aggression. And eventually, I think we would need some more steps from the US administration, as we are working together through the international coalition in order to prevent Turkey from having another operation and another green light for attacks over new territories in Syria or other ways. Currently, I think it's safe to say that personally, I have received report that Turkey is trying to build some kind of checkpoints, or let's say some small bases on the Iraqi side of the Syrian-Iraqi border through Simaika. I think it's an attempt. If it is true, I haven't been able to confront it, to affirm those reports yet. But if it is true, it is another way from Turkey to put us under some kind of a siege and to strengthen its grab over our areas. And eventually, with what is happening at the current time, we might see another operation and another attack, because so far and during the last almost 15 days, we are seeing an increase in the attack level from Turkey against us in the area of Ain Isa, which is at the southwest of the territory that it controls currently in Syria. And there might be another operation or attempt to capture it, would make our situation more complicated. Also, from the other side, there is a continuous threat of attacks in Tel Tamar, which are populated mostly by Syria Christian community, and they were affected by ISIS through kidnapping and killing. And if so, and if those attacks are happening again, it is going to affect those communities also after relatively peaceful time, after we liberated those areas from ISIS. So Turkey is a threat. Turkey is a continuous problem, I think, for everyone. It is a problem for the communities in the region, for the governments of the region, and also I think it is a problem for the European Union, for the US, and I think some of the steps that were taken through sanctions, both from EU and from the US recently, I think they were good steps, and I think we would need to see some more hard lines drawn around Turkey in order to push it to its level and to its borders, and to prevent it from attacking and destroying more lives and more rights of more people. Thank you. I hope I didn't make it long. Thank you.